Hello, you beautiful people. Yes, it's me with another video. Thank you so much again for subscribing. I know I always say that. And also, lovely emails that have been coming in just to say thank you for what I do. And that is that's very touching. So thank you so much for all your support, guys. And I'm glad I've been helping you out. Now, today's a very special one today. Before we get into that, it is about narcissistic traits. Now, I've been in touch with a lovely, lovely woman called Shannon, who we had a Skype call with, and we were talking about narcissistic traits. And I'm so glad this has happened, because I do get a lot of emails come through about how can we spot a narcissistic person. This is going to be awesome for you guys, so please sit back and relax and listen to this, and I hope you all really enjoy it. Today we're talking with Shannon, who's from Nashville, Tennessee. Did I say that right, Shannon?
You said it. You said it right.
I said that right. Now, Shannon is trained in psychology, and I did say to you guys that we were going to do a video about narcissistic traits. So I've brought Shannon on board, who knows a hell of a lot more than what I know. So I'm going to be asking her some questions, and hopefully it's going to really help you guys out here. So Shannon, thank you so much for actually doing this. So much appreciated.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. I'm going to ask you some questions. The first question I'm going to ask you is, so can you explain, right, some narcissistic traits, and how can we spot them in a person?
Okay. So one of the first traits you'll notice is the person has an inflated sense of self-importance or entitlement. They have a need for admiration. Sometimes they'll bully or belittle other people because they feel superior. They'll exploit others for personal gain, and there's a lack of empathy.
So,
in ways to
so they don't really feel emotions. What do you mean by that?
Well, they don't really see things from the other person's side. They're so caught up in themselves and their importance and what they need from other people that they don't realize how they're coming across to other people, or what their needs are, or how they feel.
Okay.
So they lack that empathy. But they have a constant need for admiration. So sometimes in a relationship, they're more of a taker than a giver.
Right.
But one way to spot that is a lot of times they're controlling. They have a disregard for other people's feelings, and then they'll have a fragile ego. They can't handle criticism. They'll blame others, take advantage of others.
That's what I mean. 'Cause I have so many people come to me, and they were asking me, you know, is my ex a narcissist because they've done this and they've done that, and you know, I've done so much research in it. And, you know, I have actually been with, I can see this now, that I've actually dated narcissistic, you know, people. But I want to know is, you know, do you think that we've all got narcissistic traits? But how can we know, how can you actually go, that person's a narcissist?
Well, narcissism actually requires a diagnosis, but we all do have narcissistic traits. A lot of times it's about self-preservation. It's about protecting your own feelings, your position in the relationship. But when it's the majority of the person's personality or how they handle the relationship, a lot of times it's more of a narcissistic personality than it is just someone being selfish. So
are narcissistic people, are they born or are they made? Does it stem from childhood? Is it something that went wrong?
It actually stems from childhood. It's more of a nature and environment result. Sometimes the parents' expectations are too high, or their parents are very successful, and the child feels like they have to live up to those expectations. So, sometimes there's conditional love, like parents don't show love to their children unless they make certain achievements or act a certain way or look a certain way. So they grow up with that mentality that they have to be this big, grandiose person in order to feel loved.
I get what you're saying there. Yeah, so it could stem from a young age and inflicted by their parents, and probably the parents before them and their parents. It could go like a great big chain. When I was like doing a lot of research into this, one of these another psychologist said on a YouTube channel actually that if you are in a relationship and you feel like you have to record a conversation because you have little arguments and they go, well, I never said that. If you feel like they're throwing it back on you, like, and making you feel like you're the mad one, you know, that is you could be dealing with a narcissistic person. Now, I remember being in a relationship before where I felt like I had to record every conversation because they were like, no, I never said that. What are you talking about? What do you think about that?
Well, they definitely blame other people. They don't want to be seen in a negative light. And there's a gaslighting. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of that, but a lot of times they'll actually turn everything around on you to make it your fault. Because if something's their fault, it kind of tears down that whole need or the whole walls they built up to make them to be this great big person. So
they don't want to knock down any walls. They don't want to make them look like they're vulnerable. Is this like that?
Yes.
Okay. So can you actually change a narcissistic person?
It's possible, but that person has to want to change, and it's going to require a lot of work. But for someone who thinks they're not the problem and that they're this great big person, they're not going to admit that they need to change.
That's it. And I have had a lot of clients like that who I believe are dealing with narcissistic exes, and it's hard to put a plan into place because, hey, if the other person thinks it's totally not their fault and they're above them and, hey, you know, you're lucky to have me, you know, I will walk, and my pride would be like, nah, you're okay, I'm never coming back because, hey, look at me. There's not much you can do with that.
You're exactly right.
But my argument is, even though, okay, you might be heartbroken and stuff like that and made to feel shit about yourself, in the long run, you don't want to be with that person anyway.
No, you don't. Because they're not likely to change, and it's only going to be harder for you.
Exactly. That's it. So if you have, right, because we go back to narcissistic sort of traits. Now, what we said before about, you know, I believe we probably all got one or two narcissistic traits if you're going to label them. So what? If you've got more than 4 or 5, you're classed as a narcissistic person, would you say?
I would say you're pretty close, yes.
So a narcissistic person is someone who has got really not much empathy. They have to be validated all the time. I mean, can you get a nice narcissistic person?
You can, as long as they're getting their way.
Right.
They're getting what they want. And you're their supply. So you're the one that's feeding them, meeting those needs. So you're feeding their ego, giving them what they want. But when they don't get it, that's when things, they can get angry, they can get more controlling, and it just kind of gets worse from there.
So I believe that in the research I've done is a lot of narcissistic people will go with someone a lot younger than them because their younger people in a relationship are easier to control. What do you think?
Yes. Control, influence, yes.
Exactly. Now, a narcissistic person, if they sort of met their match and the other person was like, well, hang about, no, you're a wanker. I don't agree. I don't agree with that. There's going to be problems.
Yeah, I don't think 2 narcissists could be in a relationship together.
No, that'd be
and be successful. No.
Yeah, that would be a nightmare. So, because the reason I say that because I have had a lot of emails come through and stuff, and I'm dealing with people who are younger and their partner is like, you know, 7 to 10 years older than them, and the stuff they've sort of coming out with, telling me about how this person's so controlled, and it's almost like this person creates a persona about them. And it's like, I've got to have the nice car. I've got to have the nice clothes. Oh, this is what I do for a job. And it's almost, I sort of see through that and just look at this person in a mind's eye and think, you know, they're probably so insecure about themselves. They have to create this persona about them for the world to see and look at.
That's exactly right. I couldn't have said that better.
Thank you. And also, a narcissistic person likes to have their partner. So they wouldn't just go with any partner. The partner has to really symbolise who they are, right? So you wouldn't go out with someone who works in Tesco's, you know?
Right. And if they do end up with somebody that isn't perfect in their eyes, they do become more controlling. They become belittling, trying to get that person to change.
Yeah. You're not wearing that. Why don't you wear that? You know, you're not wearing all that makeup.
Right.
Yeah, narcissistic. I'm glad we've done this because, as I say, I do get a hell of a lot of people come to me, and I can look and spot certain narcissistic people, but I'm glad that you've sort of taken the time. I know you've got to rush off, but taking the time just to come on and just verify a few things, because you're really going to help a hell of a lot of people out.
Well, I appreciate you asking me.
Hey,
thank you for having me.
No worries. Right. Thank you very much, Shannon.
Thank you.
I will speak to you very soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Well, I really hope that has helped you out in some sort of way, guys. You have been absolutely fantastic. Don't forget, you can leave a comment, like, subscribe, do what you feel. And also, if you want to come over and have a coaching call, all my services are on my website. You can see the website up there on the front page. But until then, you're all beautiful people. I'll see you later.